Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Double T90T and this is my new Ford Explorer.
Yeah, I like to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow.
It is a 2005. It has 171,000 miles on it and it is pretty clean. Needs a couple things. The headliner is a little droopy, so I'm gonna have a little project getting that done. The interior is not too bad. I believe that the previous owner was a smoker, so I'm going to use a trick that I learned from flying wheels, and I'm going to show that to you guys. I got to head to the store and get the materials for it. But overall, this thing is pretty clean. It runs and drives great. One of the, sorry for the beeping, one of the issues that it has is the airbag light. Let's go and start this thing up. Start right up. Yeah, the second day is always the day that you gotta worry. You never know. That's when you find out all the things that the previous owner lied to you about. It does have a check engine light on. I ran the code and the previous owner was honest about it, which is quite shocking. He told me it was a sensor, which it was. It's a fuel pressure sensor, which I looked up. It's a common thing for these 4.0s. It can cause lack of power and stuttering and stuff, but I don't see any of that with this vehicle. And now the airbag light isn't going off anymore, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that, see if it comes back on. But it was going off. I'm thinking it's probably just one of the seat belt sensors. So, but we'll see if it comes back on. But man, this thing runs good. I got this thing for a steal too. I got this thing for 900 bucks. So I think I did pretty good. It is clean title. It's got pretty good tires on it. I mean, they're not the best. They got a good, 1/4 inch on there. So enough to last the rest of the year, or enough to last until the summer for sure. Unfortunately, it's only it doesn't have the third row, but oh, nasty. Those are just wood pellets. Yeah, so it needs a really good detail. Overall though, I think I did a really good job. So we're actually debating about keeping this one and selling my wife's Kia so that she can have this, a little bit more room, a little safer for the kids. And I can't wait to get it washed, get it detailed, and then she's gonna take it for a test drive tonight and see if she likes it. But as you can tell, this thing just purrs like a kitten. It runs really good. Let's see if it's leaked anything overnight. Nope, no fluids on the ground. The frame is straight. Frame has no rust on it. I mean, I could use new tires soon, but they'll last a few more months. Nothing to worry about. They're not bald or anything. The AC works. The heater works. The radio works. Let's see what kind of presets they have here.
Start the year off right with this.
Yeah, radio works. So I'm gonna get this headliner fixed. I'm gonna make sure that the airbag light doesn't come back on, which doesn't look like it is. And only 171,000 miles on it. Yeah, super happy with it though. It just sounds good. I'll pop the hood and show you guys underneath there. Even the hood struts hold the hood up. It's got a brand new battery. This thing just, yeah, is running really good. Looks like they just took pretty good care of it. Put that back up there. Yeah, I'm gonna do a look. I'm gonna do a once over the whole car. The oil looked a little dirty, so I'll probably do an oil change on it. Even the headlights are clear. And also, I think I'm gonna use my trimmer store and get all these trim pieces and even the handles. I'm gonna try and darken those up. I think it'll look a lot better. And then I did notice when I was up on the tow truck, this piece right here just needs to kind of be reattached, which it has the bolt already in there, so I just need to reattach it. So that's not a big deal at all. up, guys? So we are going to be working on the Explorer today, and we're going to be replacing the fuel rail pressure sensor. It is underneath the intake manifold, so not too big of a job. We have to take out the relay, get all the fuel pressure or fuel out of the system, disconnect the battery, take off all the air intake, the throttle body, Egr valve, all that stuff. Then there's just a couple torque spits on the intake, and it pops off, and then the sensor's right there. So not too big of a job. So I'm gonna get to work. All right, guys. So I have something I want to talk to you about, and that is my dealer's license, which I am working toward as we speak. As of yet, I've just been working with a friend that has a dealer's license, but I'm wanting to get my own thing started, and I've been working toward it for over a year now. It was around this time of the year last year that I decided I wanted to make a run for it and start my own dealership. So that's kind of how long it's taken for me to get to this point. A lot of it is the fact that I have been doing this full time, so I haven't really need an extension here. Yeah, doing this full time and having to live off of it has really hindered the growth, and I have to have a certain amount of money before I even think about starting and getting my own location, because then I'll have a bunch of overhead, and it's just not smart to jump into it without being prepared. And that's something I'm not going to do. I'm also not going to get a big loan. My goal with this business is to have it with as little overhead and as little debt as possible, because every loan is another payment that you have to make back. I did get one initial loan to help get it started from a friend, and I'm super fine with the loan. It's a very, very, very small loan, $5 grand, and it kind of just helped me get a jump start, and I'm already paid off a pretty good significant portion of it, and my goal is to have it paid off before the end of this year. So, but at that point I will be completely debt free in my business, and I will only have to worry about my rent, insurance, my bond, obviously, but that's only a yearly thing, and just other basic overhead costs, utilities, things like that. And so my goal is to basically have it to where if I sell one car in a month, then I can have all of my expenses and bills covered. It's the longest bolt ever. There we go. Oh man. Got that beautiful sound of it hitting the ground though. I'm okay with that. Alright. So we're going to pull this throttle body out of here. Pull this other sensor wire off. Okay, got the throttle body off. Now's a good time to go ahead and clean the throttle body as well, which I'm going to do. And now the next part is getting that Egr valve off, which is just 2 bolts on the top, and then you have to break free. Look, make it look. It's just 2 bolts on each side, and then you have to break this nut free. And yeah, I just use a big open-ended wrench for that, but you can also use like an adjustable wrench. Yeah, and I did remember correctly. It's a 1 1/16 inch wrench. I had to do an Egr valve on an Explorer, which I thought it was it was that white Explorer that I flipped. I think that I did a video on it if you go look back, but it was misfiring. Oh no, I wasn't able to get a video of that one. It was wild though. So what happened with that one is I thought it was the Egr valve causing it to, it had a really bad misfire, and I was wondering how I got it so cheap. I got the whole Explorer for 500 bucks. And It had a really bad misfire, and it had a kind of a ticking sound, but it sounded more like an exhaust leak on the driver's side, and you could hear it very audibly, and I thought it was an exhaust leak. So we were looking, and then I had read a lot about these Explorers having bad EGR valves, and so I thought it was that. So I replaced the EGR valve, and it wasn't that. So I had my dad come over and help me diagnose it a little further, and he thought it might have been like a drop valve or something like that, which you know, just kind of terrified me. So I went ahead and I tore apart the top of the engine, and I tore off the valve cover, and lo and behold, one of the valve springs had broken, and so the exhaust valve was partially stuck open, and I was worried that it had been hitting that I'd worried it had been hitting the piston, you know, and there's a hole in the top piston, because yeah, I did a compression test, and there was 0 compression on that cylinder. So I wound up replacing the valve spring, which was fun. That was my first valve spring I'd ever done. All right, got this thing almost off. Yeah, first valve spring I'd ever done, and it went very successfully. I had to go buy this tool for it though, this Ford specific tool. And if you've ever done a Ford valve spring, you know you can't get those keepers in without using a very special tool that grips on to the camshaft. And so I had to go buy that. It was like $150 just for this small tool. Yeah, it just gave me a lot of experience, but I've just been using the past, you know, 6-7 months of really doing this. So I started learning in January, and I kind of just treated it as like school. I studied as much as I could. I watched a bunch of YouTubers, obviously, learned a ton from you guys out there, so thank you for that. Man, this one's being real difficult. Yeah, so I've just been using these past months to gain a lot of experience, working on cars in general too. I have, you know, gone through a couple dozen cars, and I feel like I've, you know, just kind of gotten my feet wet and being able to decide if this is really what I want to do. And I 100% want to do this. I love this job. I'm really excited to get my own dealership and you know, have my name on it and get customers and just grow a business. I want to be a business owner. I want that flexibility for my family, and it is just a beautiful thing. I would bust out my air at you, but it is a Sunday morning, and I don't really want to piss off my new neighbor. Yeah, I am excited to be so busy to where I can hire a mechanic though. Of course I want to know how to do all this stuff myself, but I would much rather be working on the business and not doing this kind of stuff, because if I have to do this, it's all dependent on, you know, my health. And like, I was sick for a week with the flu, and I couldn't work and do stuff like this. I could buy cars, but I can't, you know, do this type of physical stuff. And so that's why I just really am excited to be able to delegate and have a team. I would love to have like several mechanics, obviously. Never just want to have one, which I already have several people that I have in mind for that. I have a paint guy. I have a couple paint guys. I have, just from, you know, relationships and friends that I've made throughout the years that I know do it, and that I would love to work with in the future. And then I have a new in-law that does a interior restoration, so just having those connections is really good to have. I am, however, the first one in my circle of family to start a dealership from scratch, so that's one thing that I've been using YouTube for, is to gain those relationships with people that are doing this because you always want to learn from people who have been there. So if any of you are starting a dealership and you want to give me some advice or bounce ideas off each other, comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right. Okay. Got that Egr valve almost off. Let's pop the sensor off. It's got a couple hoses. Vacuum lines, come on. All right, got it off. So now we hit the torque spits. There should be 8 of them, I believe. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the back ones are the hard ones to get to, so that'll be really fun. Yeah, one thing I haven't really talked to you guys about is why I quit moto vlogging, and this is where most of my subscriber base had come from. Me doing my motorcycle videos and just recording myself talking. And this is the reason. I don't want to work for someone for the rest of my life. I'm trying to start something for myself, and I don't need a motorcycle right now. I can't afford one. I'm not going to go into debt to have a motorcycle, so once this business takes off and I can buy a bike cash, then I'll do that. Someone out there wants to give me a bike, but I don't see that happening, so. I got me some knee pads. Oh, that feels so much better. Oh. Yeah, I highly suggest using a camera because it makes it so much easier to find this thing. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. 2 regular short extensions put together is perfect for this. You just pop your ratchet right on there. Okay. All right, got it. Not too bad. Sure, so it's kind of perfect. Right now I'm working on the Explorer. My wife is driving this now. We sold her Kia, so now this is ours. But she wanted an upgrade from this stereo. So I bought this off of Amazon. It's one of the cheapest touchscreens that they sell. It's only 55 bucks for this and the wiring adapter, which I hope this is the right one. It says 2004 Ford, so should work. So I got to tear this out, tear that out, and then it also, one of the cool parts about this is it came with a backup camera. So I'm gonna get that installed, and that should make this a lot nicer for my wife. So it's touchscreen and it's got Bluetooth. That way she can have hands-free calling. And yeah, it should be nice. So I'm gonna get to work on that. I've never actually installed a backup camera before, so it should be a new experience. And yeah, we'll try and get this thing done. All right, guys. So I finally got the correct connector. This is the one that I do need. It plugs right into this large one here. This one's for the CD player, so I'm not gonna need that one. So all I have to do is connect color for color these to that. And then as far as the backup camera goes, I bought these little T-taps, and that way I can tap into the reverse light on the back end. That way I can get power for my backup camera. And then here's the backup camera right here, and I'm thinking that it has some lighting. Yeah, those 4 lights, LED lights. That's gonna be sick. And then let's see. So this will be my power and my ground, and then this is my video out, and then one of these reds is what I'm going to connect also to the T-taps back in the back for the backup light, and then one of them is going to go into the power up at the radio. So this is what we're going to route throughout the whole car from the front to the back, and then we should be good to go. It shouldn't take too long to get all this together. I got these just butt connectors so that I can connect all these together, and I'm going to do that now and then get everything in, get the radio in. I'm going to do all the front stuff first, and then I'm going to route the wires because it is freezing outside right now. It's going to start sleeting here, or freezing rain a little bit, and it's supposed to snow tonight. So I am trying to stay inside as much as possible and get as much done as possible. And I was super lucky. I inherited these from my dad a while back, and I love these wire strippers. They're so nice. And then I also have these more classic ones, but yeah, I use these all the time, and I will be using them for decades more. They're really good tools. My dad always, they're Milwaukee, but my dad always kept the best tools. He was a machinist, so unfortunately he lost a lot of his tools, but I got to get a few of them before he lost all of them. But I'm gonna get to work, get all this stuff installed, and I'll come back once I'm a little further in. All right, so this is what we got so far. We've got the adapter hooked up. We've got all of the wires put together that need to be put together. This is our video from the backup camera. I have it routed through underneath, and all I have to do is clean that up and route it back to the back. I have this is for the tail. This is when I shift it into reverse. This is a power wire that goes to this pink wire, which this pink wire is what tells the radio to turn on the reverse camera on the radio. So that will power that. And now then all I have to do is connect this to the power and the negative on the brake light, and then connect this red on the other side of this black wire to the positive as well. So I'll be connecting two red wires to the positive and then one black wire to the negative. And to do that, I have these T-taps. So they allow me to tap into the wiring harness for the reverse light. So that will pretty much take care of it. So now all I have to do is connect the radio up, install it. Then I need to route this wire to the back, and then install the backup camera. Install the backup camera onto around the license plate area, and then I have to splice into the reverse light, and then we are done. So yeah, it's not too difficult. I mean, the worst part is just the tedious part of putting all these wires together. So it's not too terrible though.